Good morning, everybody. I have the third card for you in the September online card class. And these cards, usually I have two of the same, but I just liked the difference in these two. So you'll have two different ones for your last card. And I gave you, when you get your kit, you'll get all of these pieces. So you can arrange them however you would like. If you like my design, then feel free to use it. If you want to use your own design, then, have fun with it. I gave you all of the pieces from this bundle, and it's called Quiet Meadow, and it's really pretty. It's got my lovely sprinkles in it that I like, and the background stamp that you could use. So this is the stamp set. I think it's really pretty. I'm gonna have to make some cards with it. Some more cards, I should say. And then these are all of the dies. And like I said, I cut every one of them out for you. And a couple extra, because I wanted to use the cork for, not the cork, but the bedazzling paper for the butterflies. But you have in your kit, you have with the, this is a shimmer paper, and I use shimmer paper almost all the time when I am coloring because I like the way it accepts the ink. And then I also use the Timeworn Type, and this is the embossing folder, and it's just so pretty. So you probably can't see it on the video, but it's so pretty. It just adds so much to background. And then I use the stitch rectangle dies. I use them a lot. So I used these two pieces right here, and I put them together with painter's tape so that they stay where I want them to, and I can cut out a bunch and just keep moving. So I'm going to put these to the side, and I just want to show you this cork paper up close. It's just so beautiful, the texture on it, and then some of it has like a real sheen to it, almost like looks like kind of metallic, but it's just really, really pretty. And for the background pieces that I embossed with the embossing folder, I was just doing different techniques on them. This is a whitewash that I did, and I thought it was really pretty. So this is just craft ink, and then I think this is Evening Evergreen with just a sponge or a sponge dauber. And this one, I just used my aqua painter and just used it and just swish some ink over top of it. So, however you want to play with this when you get it, just try something new. It's just so much fun. And then I did give you some of the champagne rhinestones in your kit for you to use. So let's get started. When you get yours, you just pick out whatever color inks that you have or that you want to use. I use just a big combination. Early espresso. I use the balmy blue, the pale papaya. This is the fresh freesia, Highland heather, soft seafoam, and old olive. Old olive is one of my favorites. If they ever get rid of that, I would cry. So let's just get started and pull out. I suggest you just do one card at a time and figure out what pieces you want to use with which one. And I'm just going to use mine the way that I did the cards. So your first piece is this embossed background, and it's on the new craft paper. And we had this a couple years ago, and it came back again, which I was really happy. So what you want to do, or what I did, I use my blending brushes. So I just keep them in here, and I just dedicate one to each color. Like this is for greens, blues. I have this for browns. This is for peaches, purples, and this one was a combination of greens, I think. And then this one is for the pink one. So whatever colors you want to use, like I said, for the background, I used early espresso. These over here. And what I do is I use my blending brushes, and they're so soft. And you don't want to load it up too heavy, just enough so it gives it some color, and try it out on your paper. And then just what you want to do is you just want to highlight this background so that it pops out a little more. If you don't want, to do this step, you don't have to. If you don't have, the colors, use a different color. It's the color that would complement. And these are very neutral colors. So you could use just about anything. Some greens, blues. Like I said, you just want to highlight it just to make that embossing pop out. I just think it's so pretty. All right, so let's look at our pieces that I sent you. So these are going to be, I actually sent you an extra piece of early espresso to put behind. I just thought it would bring in the color a little bit. So you just layer it like that, and then just layer this on top of it. So let's go ahead and do that. Like I said, I always use the mono liquid glue and just lay it down. Just get the reveal the same all the way around. Just press it down and come in with your piece of, this is the cork paper. It's so pretty. And just put it in the center. Okay, I'm going to cover this up so I don't stick my fingers in it. Put this over here for now. So this one I used the Balmy Blue, and then this is a combination of the soft sea foam and a little bit of Old Olive. So these pieces, this one reminds me of celery for some reason. I'm not sure why. So I think that's why I chose the soft sea foam. I think that's like a celery color. So you want this piece. And then this piece right here. This is so pretty. I think they're all pretty. Just take your time, when you're pulling them out of the sheet that I cut so you don't break the legs off of them. So we're going to set this to the side and bring in our colors. I'm going to use some Old Olive, some soft sea foam. Put this right on top of there. And then a little bit of the Balmy Blue. So this is your blue, your Balmy Blue. I really just think it's so pretty. So all you do is just add some color. If you don't have these blending brushes, I highly recommend them. But if you have some of the blends, you can use those as well. Just use the fat end if you want to. I just add a little bit of color to the edges with it. You can also color it if you want to with it. It's so pretty. So you can see what it looks like if I just do it with the Balmy Blue, how it just is a brighter color. And I like when I use the sponge because it just gives it so much color and depth. Ooh, I like that. It's a little bit darker than that one, but I like it. So then let's come in with some green. Let's use some of the soft sea foam. And you don't have to apply a lot of pressure, just drag it down the stem. If you want it darker, just keep adding. I like the lightness of this one. And then you can just come in with a little bit of the Old Olive if you want to, just to highlight different parts of it. So then I want to go back to soft sea foam for my celery piece that I call it. Oops. Just be careful when they have a lot of pieces to them, so you don't want to tear them up. Just use a gentle hand. Sometimes for me that's easier said than done. So you just keep adding your color. Like I said, just use what you have. If you have blends, if you have markers, you can use sponges, whatever you have. So this one, for my little butterfly up here, I actually used the balmy blue on it, and I think I used my blend for this so that it gets it a nice color. So this is the one, the sideways one. So you just take your blends and you just brush the color on. This other way, as you can see. And I like how it just adds a little bit of color to it until you get it the color you want. Then you just bring in your piece and layer it the way that you want it. I just dry fit this so that I can put it together. Pretty together, I like it. So if you have glue dots, those are good to use. I'm going to cover this up. I always stick my fingers in things when I'm not supposed to. So just take a glue dot and put it on that little piece right there. Peel it off. If you don't have glue dots, just use some glue. So this one I used, it was a little bit higher. And you can layer this however you like. So I just put that glue dot on there to hold it so that I can come back with my twine. You can color your twine with the blends if you want to. I colored this one in the Highland Heather, and all you do, you can do it with your ink pad, you can do it with your blends, and you just add the color to it. You can do it with your markers. You can spritz it with, make your own paint. You can take alcohol, put it in a bottle, and then a couple of drops of your re-inker. You can make it any color you want. So what you do is you just want to tie it around the stems. This will hold them together for you. Let's tie, you know what? We need our little tag here. So your little tags are, I put everything in one bag, so you can use it however you like. So yep, this is one tag. So what you want to do is you just want to thread it through. And then just tie it. So if you want to, it does make it easier to tie if you go ahead and add your glue on the back of here. Don't get crazy with it. Put a little along the bottom, however you want your stems, how much movement you want to them. That's how much glue you want to put on. So let's just flip this over. So pretty, isn't it? So then let's just tie this in a bow. Oops. Might want to give it a minute to dry, before you start fiddling with it. Miss Impatient, that's me. So you just want to tie your bow. Make it as small or as big as you want. You can leave a tail if you want. If you want this to stay still, just take a glue dot, put underneath it, and then just put it down. So then you can come back in. You need to put put your butterfly up there. But I did give you extra champagne rhinestones if you want to add some to this, or if you want to put them all on one. It's entirely up to you. And you need one of your little bees out of here. And we'll give him a glue dot. Glue dots make everything easier. So then you just want to add him to your tag. You can trim your twine a little bit if you like. And then just add your little butterfly. Oops. Isn't that pretty? So then just add it to your cardstock base. Some glue. I think the early espresso adds to this card. I think it brings in some of the color, you know, that you put on the background. So you can put some of your rhinestones on here if you want. I think they'd be pretty in here, don't you? Let's see. Oops. Let's add one to here. I think they're so pretty. I don't know. Get there. You can always move them around. I'm just going to put it there. I like it like that. Okay, so I hope you like this one, and I hope you have, you know, the colors that you want to use. Like I said, use any color that you want with this. It just is so pretty. Put the lid on this. Let's move on to the next one. So I do love how that one turned out. This one is just so pretty, isn't it? Look at it. It's so cute. So let's put the rest of our pieces out here that we're going to use. There we go. Things out. We need our piece of twine. Right. So this one, we can hit the background again with our early espresso, just to bring that color out. It just highlights the areas that are embossed. I think it's pretty. If you wanted to, you could take your Winkastella. Just take a little bit. I think this has a minute. And then just flick it on the background. I love Winkastella and I love to flick, so it's a great combination. It's pretty on the background. I think it adds to this background because some of it in little spots looks like it has some of the metallic in it. So what you want to do is you want to turn this over and you want to glue it. This is your frame. Okay. And then you just want to glue it down. Oops. It's a little wiggly, but just take your time and it'll be okay. There you go. Just don't get crazy with your glue, you know, just put a line on it just enough to hold it, and then you're good. Okay. And we're going to put this right on top of the early espresso cardstock. Lay it down. I do think it adds to that. If you don't like it, you know, you don't have to put that on there. And then you'll come in, you'll need this piece. I think it's so pretty. And just pop them out, you know, take your time, push them through. Try not to pull on the legs and break them. So then I used, where's my other little guy at? Oh, there he is. So this piece right here. So I used these two pieces. So then you still have pieces left over. You could make a third card. So there are those pieces, or you can add them to any of these to get, you know, the combinations that you want. You have some, whoops, some extra butterflies. You have extra tag. You have these little flower or little leaves in here. You can use them. I think this tag is just beautiful. So you have these extra pieces, you know, just use them. I always like to give you extra. So let's color these. So for these ones, I used some of the greens, put the greens there. I used some of the purple combinations. And I love this pale papaya. It's so pretty. I just think it's just a lovely color. So let's get our blending brush. So in here, you can take and pop these pieces out. Do it with your fingernail, do it with your pick tool, and that way it gives you, you can see the flowers better. So you can even come in with a different color for these two if you wanted to. I think I did it with Daffodil Delight. Come in with a marker, your blender pen, and just add, so it's a little bit different. So then just add your color until you get it to where you'd like it to be. And let's do a little bit of green. Let's do a little bit of old olive for this one. It's really pretty. So we're going to do, while we have this out, we're going to go ahead and do the old olive for this one. If you think it needs, you know, some more, just go ahead and add it. And then I did a combination of the Highland Heather and the Fresh Freesia. So the Fresh Freesia, just load it up. It's a pretty color, isn't it? Seems like it's got a lot of pink in it. So then come back in with your Highland Heather. Let's do the edges. And then just blend it all together so it's not quite so obvious that the edges are a different color. Blend them together. So pretty. So then for this little guy right here, I did a little bit of the Balmy Blue. And you can do that with your blend brush, or blend pen, or you can do it with your ink pad. I just think it adds a little bit. And then if you think it needs a touch of purple to blend it better, just go ahead and add that in. Like it. Okay. Put our blender brushes away. Always cover these up so I don't stick my fingers in them. And bring your piece back in. And then decide how you want it. Hold it down here. So if you want it. So again, bring in a glue dot. I love my glue dots. These are under the adhesives in the big book. And this one's kind of straight up. This one's kind of to the side. Layer them together. And then come in with your twine. And again, you can change the color of your twine. If you want it to be blue, you want it to be white, whatever color you want it to be. I think let's bring in a little of the blue. I think it helps tie that flower in. Just color it. And always use the side of your blend pen because you don't want to break down the edge because you want to keep it nice and sharp, the color. And then when you're putting it inside, if you notice, inside it's round. And if you lay it down on the table, click it, then you don't have to worry about breaking the end either. So you want to color the butterfly. And I colored it with the dark Highland Heather. Again, coloring with the side. Because this designer series paper is kind of rough, so it would break down your end really easily. So let's put that to the side. I'm going to bring in our twine. Let's go ahead and put some glue on here. Just put it in spots so it'll hold it down for you. Slip your twine underneath. Press it down. Give it a second, while you're waiting for it to adhere a little bit. Take your rhinestones, champagne rhinestones, and just put them on here. I think they're so pretty on that flower. Oops. That one, if you still have time, maybe pull it over. So get your rhinestones in there. There we go. I like that. You like it out there better. So what you might want to do is add a little glue to this one so it'll stay. I think I got a glue booger on there. So that way it'll stay down where you want it to stay. So let's tie this. Bring in our tag. Do it from the back side. Okay, and then just tie your bow. Isn't that pretty? So then you can put a glue dot under there to hold it, or leave it free, whatever you want. I just like it to stay where I put it. So then give your D a glue dot. Oops, stick it on there. Isn't that pretty? And then with your butterfly, you want to give it a glue dot too. I think with this one, I put the flowers up where the butterfly was. So let's put him over here. Isn't that pretty? I like it. So then let's just add it to our cardstock base. And we will be good to go. If you need some Tombow mono adhesive, let me know. I just ordered some, and it's $2 for one of these. In the book it's $4, but I place a really big order, and I give you the savings. So $2 for a bottle if you need it, and just send me a message. Let me know what you think. I think these turned out great. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you next month for our next class. Take care.